that in Epcot and Walt Disney World, she's the star of a major attraction. As part of the universe of energy at Epcot, she's the main character in Ellen's Energy Adventure. Next time I go to Disney World, I'll be sure to go on that ride. Up next, we have an 8th grader at BenCarson Middle School who loves art, is very creative, and likes to dance. She plays 2 instruments, the violin and the flute. Please welcome MayukhaKaluva.
Hello everyone, how is everyone doing?
Good.
He was the first person to ever successfully operate surgery on conjoined twins. He ran for the presidency in 2016. He is now the United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Does anybody know who I'm talking about? Well, it is BenCarson. Hi, my name is MayukhaKaluva. I am an 8th grader at BenCarson Middle School. Ever since I was little, I have always wanted to become a doctor. I was so fascinated by how my doctor could magically make me agree to getting a shot. Enough of me. Let me tell you about BenCarson's childhood. BenCarson was born on September 18, 1951. He grew up with his mother and his older brother, Curtis. His father left him and his family when he was 8 years old, and he grew up fatherless. Now let's take a look at his education. BenCarson graduated from Southwestern High School, given a full scholarship to Yale University, where he got his BA degree in psychology. He then went to the University of Michigan to specialize in neurology. He then went to Johns Hopkins Hospital as an intern in 1977, and by 1982, he became the chief resident of pediatric neurosurgery. Now let me tell you about his youth life. Ever since he was little, his mother pushed him to read whenever he had a chance. This is because she wanted him to have the education that she never had. At a very young age, BenCarson developed a very bad temper. It got so bad that when he was in 9th grade, him and his friend Bob were listening to the radio. Bob flipped the channel and asked him, "Is this even music?" BenCarson got so mad that he grabbed a camping knife and would have killed his friend if it wasn't for his huge belt. This is when he finally realized that he had an anger issue and constantly worked on improving his situation. He has long gotten better ever since, probably even better than our current president. Now let's take a look at his work. BenCarson is now the United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under our current president, Donald Trump. He retired from Johns Hopkins Hospital in 2013 with 30 years of experience as the Director of Pediatric Neurosurgery. He also worked as a professor in neurosurgery, oncology, pediatric medicine, and plastic surgery. He is also an author of 6 profounding books. Now let me tell you about his marriage and children. BenCarson met Lucina Carson, also known as Candy Carson, when he was welcoming in the freshman in his 3rd year at Yale. They both got married on June 6, 1975, and had 3 children, Royce Carson, Murray Carson, and BenCarson Jr. Just like you and me, BenCarson also made many mistakes. In 2015, on Meet the Press, he said that he would not recommend we put a Muslim in charge of the United States. This almost brought down his whole campaign. He also made the mistake of not recognizing his anger at a young age. This caused him to accidentally split open a bully's head because of his anger. And in 9th grade, he tried to stab his friend because of his anger. This is when he realized that he had a problem and constantly worked on improving his situation. With mistakes comes criticism. BenCarson got criticized because of the color of his skin and because he got bad grades at school. He also got criticized for calling slaves immigrants in one of his speeches. He he also got criticized for dropping out of the 2016 elections. Ben Carson also got rejected. He was afraid of going on trains because he had the fear of getting rejected. He was shocked when the University of Michigan asked him to drop out of the university because he failed a test. As you could imagine, the worst possible rejection that you could possibly face is when someone you absolutely admire walks away from your life. This is how Ben Carson felt ever since he was 8 years old, when his father left him and his family. He has grown to know why his father had to leave his family so abruptly. Now, on a happy note, let me tell you about his outstanding achievements. In 1985, he became the director of pediatric neurosurgery at the age of 33, which was the youngest at his time. In 1987, he was the first person to successfully operate surgery on conjoined twins. A quote by Mr. Carson. "Happiness doesn't result from what we get, but from what we give." He clearly shows this in 1994 when him and his wife started the Carson Scholars Fund. This foundation grants scholarships to kids and promotes reading in younger grades. He is also now the United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. With outstanding achievements comes many awards. In 2001, he was named by CNN and Time magazine as the nation's 24 most physicians and scientists. In 2004, he was awarded the Healthcare Humanitarian Award. In 2008, he was awarded the Ford's Theater Lincoln Medal and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He was also given 60 honorary doctorate degrees and dozens of national merit citations. In 2006, he was awarded the Spingren Medal. Now you all might be wondering why I chose Ben Carson. Well, I chose Ben Carson because he grew up in Michigan and wanted to become a doctor ever since he was little, just like me. It was so inspiring to read his book, Gift in Hands, and to learn about his lifestyle. Despite living in a poor area, he excelled in every part of his career and life. I am determined to be like him one day. What did I learn from the confidence class? I learned that no matter what anybody thinks of me, I must stay confident and not be afraid of making mistakes. A quote by Mr. Carson. "Successful people don't have fewer problems. They have determined that nothing will stop them from going forward." I would like to thank our wonderful judge for coming all this way to listen to our speeches. My sincere appreciation goes to Vidyanti for giving me the confidence to come onto this stage and to speak in front of this big of a crowd. My wholehearted thanks goes to my parents for supporting me throughout this amazing journey. I also would like to thank my mentor, Radhi, for helping me perfect my speech. I also would like to thank my fellow contestants and to wish them all a very good luck. Am I forgetting someone? Ah yes, you, the wonderful audience. I would love to thank you guys for coming all of this way to listen to our speeches tonight. Thank you.
So you admire him being a doctor, yet he accepted a position in the Trump White House as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Do you think this is the best use of his talents? And do you think that being born in poverty and getting out of poverty is really the right characteristic for his talents?
I think that being in poverty and growing up in poverty gives him like a sense of what the people are like, and not really how Trump was grown up in a more of a urbanized culture, I guess. So maybe it would help him to know.
Do you think that maybe he should have kind of held out for like a job like the Surgeon General or something in the medical field?
Yeah, I think so. But I feel like it was kind of outgoing of him to accept a position that was out of his comfort zone.
And he ran for president. What characteristics and attributes do you think he has that would make him a good president? And do you think he'll try to run for president again?
I'm not sure if he would run for president again, but I think what makes him a good president is that he accomplished the unthinkable, and I guess that really shows that he could give the United States great potential.
Thank you.
Let's take one question from this side. Go ahead.
Did Ben Carson have any role models throughout his life?
His mom was his role model because her husband left him, and I guess she kind of pushed him to read and have a good education, and she was kind of his inspiration.
Huge round of applause. Parents, when they're going back and arranging that, the boards have to be